This is the new 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and we're gonna go see what it's like. Now, it may look pretty similar to the previous Grand Cherokee, but what's under the hood is the big news. We have a Hurricane 4, a new turbocharged inline 4 with some pretty cool tech. But we're gonna hit the road. I've got my friend Drake along with me. He is driving first, so I'll be passenger princess. Take a look at this interior. Wow.
Fully gloss black.
That's true. Lots of screens. We have a passenger screen, infotainment screen, digital screen, and then
no screen there.
Gloss. Lots of gloss black though. Engine start stop buttons there.
We were just talking in the Cherokee about how there's very little gloss black in that car. This is the opposite. This is the opposite.
But we do have some really nice wood grain. You can feel the texture, and take a look at that quilting on the door. We are in the top of the line trim, so massage seats. Hi.
Oh my goodness, Eddie, you're not
safety first. Oh no. With Drake driving, you'd never know, right? I am currently actually not passenger princess, I am passenger prisoner. But take a look at this textured tan leather too. Ooh. So this morning we were out and about in the little sibling to the Grand Cherokee, the regular Jeep Cherokee, which has also been completely refreshed new. That one had a hybrid powertrain. This one does not. This one has the brand new Hurricane 4. So the Hurricane is an engine family now because we have the inline 6, which comes in standard output and high output. High output's in the Ram RHO, they put it in the Grand Wagoneer, they put it in the Rams. Now this one, the Hurricane 4, has some pretty cool technology, and they say you get 20% more power while using 10% less fuel, which sounds like it breaks the laws of physics, but not. It's just optimizing efficiency. Tunnel run! There's definitely some pumped-in audio, I feel like. Yeah.
Very planted, though.
Man, the weather's looking way nicer because it's been never mind. It's been torrential rain, flash flood last couple days, and now the sun is out, and you can see blue in the sky, which makes us happy because we have to stand outside and film. Right. So you're getting this vlog of my/our experience in the Grand Cherokee, trying it out in the real world. We are in Southern California. Drake is going to film a totally different kind of content where he's going to try to run me over. Want to explain what you sent me the video. I've never seen this Minecraft movie, and I'm like, he's like, Eddie, is it okay if I hit you with the car?
We are going to recreate the scene where Jennifer Coolidge hits the villager in the Minecraft movie. Because I laughed so loud when I saw that in theaters, and she says in the movie, she's like, everyone tries to sue me once I hit them with my Jeep Grand Cherokee. So we're gonna recreate that with the new 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
So I have to be this villager thing. I've never played Minecraft. I don't know anything about them. I know they're blocks. That's the noise they make?
Yep.
That's
exactly.
it.
Yep. Oh wait.
Here is my villager outfit. It's simply like a green jacket. This really doesn't make any sense to me because I've never played the game and I've never seen the movie. So I'm just confused going along with Drake being a good friend.
You're a proper villager then. You're just...
What?
Oh no, not again. I am so sorry. Oh my God, are you alright? Oh my God, are you alright?
Alright, so that's what we're doing. Okay.
Oh no, not again. I am so sorry. Oh my God, are you all right? Oh my God, are you all right? Your head is huge.
Huh.
You're not gonna sue me, are you? Everyone wants to sue me once I hit them with my Jeep Grand Cherokee.
To anybody from Jeep watching this, I am sorry. I promise we'll actually talk about the car some more. Since the biggest piece of news for the new Grand Cherokee is the new engine under the hood, let's take a moment to talk about it. I do have my notes on my phone because there's a lot of facts to remember and I want to get them all right. So they're calling it the Hurricane 4. It's a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, and at a high level, it makes 324 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty impressive power and torque for a 2-liter turbo 4. It's 162 horsepower per liter, which from terms of power density, they have a fun fact, it's 26% more than a Hellcat Hellcat Red-Eye. Can you imagine if a Hellcat Red-Eye had this kind of power density? That would be pretty crazy. Now, they're calling it a Hurricane, so it is sort of related to the Hurricane Inline 6 you'll find in other ones, but it's got some pretty distinct technologies and innovations just for this. For example, the block is die-cast instead of sand-cast like on the 6-cylinder, but some other things like the bore spacing is the same. It is fully designed, assembled in Michigan for this engine. It's a clean sheet design. One of the coolest things is TJI, Turbulent Jet Ignition, which is a wild acronym. It sounds really cool. It has the word jet in it, right? And it has to do with the ignition system to try to maximize your combustion efficiency, which means more power and more efficiency. Now, it actually has legit motorsports derived technology, but here, obviously in a Grand Cherokee, you're not trying to go race at F1. You're trying to get maximum efficiency and power, so they're balancing it, whereas motorsports is max power. It's kind of related to the Maserati pre-ignition chamber that they had in the Tuno V6, but also distinctly different. Essentially, there's like this little nozzle chamber where they start the ignition, right? So the fuel air mixture, and that propagates out almost like a blowtorch in the cylinder itself, the combustion chamber, and you're just trying to maximize the combustion of the air fuel mixture to get more power, which is pretty cool tech. So each cylinder has 2 different spark plugs. It's both DI and PFI, direct injection and port fuel injection. 12-to-1 compression ratio. The variable geometry turbo can do up to 35 pounds of boost. And all of this stuff probably sounds like that's a lot of complexity. That's a high-stress, complicated engine. And yes, there's a lot of cool tech there, but they were really emphasizing, they did a lot of durability testing, learned lots of things from other engines and powertrains in order to make sure this thing is going to be robust, it's going to be solid. And the power torque figures are impressive, like I mentioned. Peak torque, or 90% of peak torque, is from 2,600 RPM to 5,600 RPM, which that's what the shove that you feel as you're getting going. So this is a pretty cool new engine, the Hurricane 4, and that's what they say. It's 20% more power using 10% less fuel, which is pretty impressive. And you still can have the base 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 and the entry-level trims, but as soon as you start stepping up, this becomes the standard engine across the lineup. So lots of power, lots of torque, lots of cool innovations. Let's see what it's like in the real world. Now that I've finished being an actor in Drake's reel, that was actually kind of fun.
That was really fun.
I'm excited to see the final result. Let's take a quick tour of the Jeep Grand Cherokee. New Jeep Grand Cherokee, but it looks very, very similar. Slight tweaks to the front fascia styling. We've got a new DRL shape, kind of like a hockey stick right there. I like how it's mirrored below here with the silver trim. The 7-slot grille has been slightly tweaked, and then the front fascia has also been slightly redesigned. They did add some new colors. I don't know if this one's new, but this one's called, I think, Red Velvet. And Copper Shino is a really cool. It's like this bronzish gold color. That one's really distinct. And of course, you want a more neutral silver, white, gray, black. They still have those. We've got the upgraded wheels on this one and adjustable height air suspension because, again, this is one of the top-of-the-line trim models. And then you see the Grand Cherokee lettering along the side, along with the American flag. And like we mentioned, this is the regular wheelbase version. There is the long wheelbase available. It's an extra $2,000. We've got the black 2-tone roof up there, and then coming around back, I don't think they really changed much back here at all. So styling wise, not a huge departure from the pre-refresh. This one is the Summit, so top tier trim. They did it also simplify the trim strategy slightly, but from a visual standpoint, still looks like the Grand Cherokee. Very familiar face. They didn't really mess with it because it already looks like a pretty handsome, nice premium luxury SUV. All right, let's do a bit of driving now. Soft limiter as usual, and I think you're right, Drake. A little bit of throttle lag input. Let's see what on the road. I'm gonna start in auto, and then we'll toggle up into sport. I do like this circular steering wheel, but it does feel, it feels pretty big actually. Very different from the newer, oh yeah, that's a lot of, there we go. There was definitely some lag. All right, I'm going down into sport mode. Let's do some sporty things in a Grand Cherokee Summit and not get taken out by a Toyota. Floor it. Yep, that's a lot of lag. Come on, there we go. Oh, it's holding the gear in sport mode.
Wow, being held up by a GR86.
Come on. All right, floor it. Alright, I mean, this is pretty good power and torque, but this is, after all, still a pretty decent sized SUV. Sportiness is not necessarily its first priority. Air suspension's pretty comfortable, adjustable height. And this one definitely has some nice luxury features. The massage seats are actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Don't you
I like
think?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. We've got a 19-speaker Macintosh sound system. Very, very nice interior. I can definitely feel how much bigger this thing is up in these curvy roads compared to the Cherokee we were driving earlier today.
Yeah, it's a little.
Oh,
It leans a little.
yeah. This air suspension is tuned for adjustable ride height and comfort, not for controlling a wallowy body.
I like the steering though.
Wah!
I thought the steering was responsive. No?
It's okay. It's just you have to adjust your expectations for what, right?
Right.
So they don't have like a sporty version. So if you look at Ford, they've got the Explorer ST and the Explorer Tremor. Although Explorer ST is probably the only like really sporty one in this kind of segment.
Right, because then this is also bleeding into like the luxury brands, and an X5 is definitely more dynamic.
100%. Audi, if you step up there, right, you've got SQ7.
Well, that's
Is that-
$100,000 though.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's not fair. That's scratch that.
Q7.
Q7, a regular Q7. Jeep really does kind of straddle that premium and
It's like Mazda
mainstream.
CX-90. Sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting. Mazda CX-70, Mazda CX-90. I feel like those are the closest competitors to this car. And that 3.3, the 3.3 liter Turbo 6
Yes.
that they have, makes just a little more power than this. Sorry about my tripod. But
Oh, a DeLorean! And a Cybertruck went by. Hello! Tachyon is... Whoa, where's the person? They're just sitting there. Hopefully it
just
didn't break
chilling.
down and just got abandoned there. I think, speaking of the Mazda, right, one of the things they're going to have to overcome is just the customer mental block of 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I don't want a turbo, I want a V6. I want a 6-cylinder just in some form, even if on paper a turbo 4 is making more power, more torque in tow, it's got better efficiency, all of these things. There's just going to be this like customer mental block
Yeah.
that they're going to have to overcome. And I mean, we'll see what the take, actually, well, we're not going to be able to see what the take rate is because you get this engine. Right? If you want, people want the higher tier trims, unless you're getting the really entry-level one with the Pentastar, you're going to have one of these. Whoa, M5 Touring.
Wow, that looks nice. No, that's a sedan.
Oh, sedan, M5 sedan, my bad.
But I think that's one thing that Stellantis does pretty well in general is their marketing, because they're not going to call this a 4-cylinder, they're going to call this a Hurricane. So yeah, it's got the nice, robust Hurricane engine, and honestly, behind the wheel, it doesn't necessarily sound 4-cylinder-y inside. So they did a good job with that. You're not getting all of the 4-cylinder negative characteristics.
Yeah, let's go back to auto mode and just drive like normal civilized human beings. Use this as a luxury daily driver SUV as you would.
Suspension is nice.
Yeah. It's quiet, isolated. I'm enjoying my massage seats. But pricing. Entry level is right around $40,000, and they've simplified the trim strategy as you go across. It's Laredo, Limited, Summit. And then there's a couple sub-trim packages underneath these, the X and the
Laredo, Altitude.
Yeah, Altitude, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And there's different pricing for that, but they're just kind of bundling it, so it's a very simplified trim strategy, which makes it easier for dealers to sell, easier for buyers to understand, and easier for them to build from a complexity of the manufacturing plant perspective.
Right.
And some of them is just like you can add a sunroof onto it, right? It just comes pretty well equipped at different trim levels. And the pricing range is, again, entry 40s up to, these are in the 60s now.
Yeah, 62 for the Summit.
But honestly, like, this feels like a $60,000 interior.
Yeah, for sure. This is, you're getting a lot of luxury and features and style for that price.
The only drawbacks are, like, for example, in a GM product, you could get Super Cruise.
Right.
And there is no hybrid option. I know some buyers are still going to be prioritizing hybrid.
Yeah, do we have fuel economy numbers on this?
I thought I heard one of
Hurricane?
them say 27.
Okay.
I thought I heard a 27. I could be completely making that up, but I heard 27. I'm like, that sounds
Combined?
about right. Yeah, combined.
Okay.
Yeah, which sounds about right.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I'm currently off route. Navigation is not happy with me as I'm aimlessly driving around right now.
Still pretty though.
Yeah. It finally got nice. It was literally a monsoon. Poor Omar was filming in a torrential downpour. All right, completely stop. I'm gonna just floor it. 1, 2, 3.
There, yeah.
There
It
we
takes
go.
like 3 seconds for the turbo to kick in.
So that's the whole point of having a variable geometry turbo too, right? You should have it more responsive at different speeds and rev ranges. So I'm not super impressed with the throttle/turbo, just response off the line. It feels very slow on tip in. But once you're going, it's fine. And honestly, most people aren't drag racing their Grand Cherokees off the line at the red light. Another factor could be we were just driving, actually that's not an excuse, but we were just driving the new hybrid powertrain in the Jeep Cherokee, and that was actually very quick off the line. Electric motors do help, and it was very responsive off the line. And I think that also has a variable geometry turbo, if I'm not mistaken. Regardless, that is something I do not love about this Turbo 4 Hurricane. That literally I was just planting my foot, and it was like 1, 2, 3, all right, now we're going.
I wonder if they're going to make a high output version of the Hurricane 4.
Oh man.
Or if this is the high output version.
I feel like it's more likely to do a lower output because this thing is already this is high strung, right? We're talking 162 horsepower per liter, 35 pounds of boost. So like some of the highest power 4-cylinders, I think, are like the AMG. That one was crazy, and like CLA 45. And that was 360? What was the number? I don't remember, but I remember that was also a pretty high-strung, crazy AMG 4-cylinder, and that was in a proper AMG model. It's a pretty cool thing. So I don't think they could do much more out of this thing.
And thinking about their engine lineup, the standard output Hurricane 6 is only
420,
less than 100 horsepower more than this.
Exactly,
so,
yeah. So I think this is already probably at the top. Also has a tow, so they got to deal with all the thermal management and things like that. But that would be pretty wild. Imagine Jeep with a 400 horsepower Turbo 4.
Not the brand you would expect that from.
No. Although, like the Hurricane Inline 6, people have been like tuning that thing up and swapping it into stuff, and it's pretty crazy. It's almost as if this lived like it's like a Dodge 2J. Off-road we go. There was supposed to be an off-road trail for us to test these things out, but the torrential rain made it apparently too muddy and unsafe. So that's the extent of the off-roading we will do in this Jeep. But again, it's still a Grand Cherokee. It's a Jeep, right? So we've got the different drive modes. We've got 4-wheel drive low, but Trailhawk is where you'd want to be for more off-roady capabilities.
Did they talk about Trailhawk for this model?
I don't recall.
But I know they have it. I saw it we saw it when we filmed the backgrounder for this.
So with all-terrain tires and a couple of...
Because 4xe is also a powertrain that's still on offer for Grand Cherokee.
I thought they canceled 4xe.
Well,
I thought 4xe got discontinued across the lineup.
I do remember hearing that, but when we were at the backgrounder, they had a 26 with a 4xe Trailhawk.
But I thought after that, 4xe got the axe across everything.
You might be right.
I need to double check that, but I remember hearing something about 4xe being like, bye-bye. They're just moving,
which is weird because
away.
they were always like, it's the best-selling plug-in hybrid
in America. It was a Wrangler, right? That was like driving that pretty much.
Because they were really cheap to lease.
Yeah. So there is a new hybrid in the regular Cherokee, but the big news for this one is the Hurricane 4. Some pretty legit cool technology, and in this quick, just on-road, driving around, initial impressions, solid power and torque. I'm just really curious to see how well they'll do in terms of, hello horsies, converting customers and getting customers to try out the Hurricane 4. I think Drake is right. Calling it Hurricane makes it sound tough, and there's a little bit of brand equity in the Hurricane 6 already. People know about that turbocharged inline 6 and many other Stellantis vehicles, but positive initial impressions. Again, they didn't really change that much on the inside. I mean, we've got screens that are up Uconnect 5. The front fascia has been tweaked very lightly. If you did not have another pre-refresh Grand Cherokee sitting right next to you, you probably would be hard-pressed to point out every single little difference. But this interior is definitely fantastically nice. Cool trying out this new powertrain. Definitely would want to spend a week living with one of these to really get more opinions and thoughts on the Turbo 4. But there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this vlog and some of our shenanigans of me being a villager from Minecraft. I gotta go watch that movie now. I'm gonna watch that movie and try to understand what in the world's going on.
It's a good time.
Hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Thanks for watching.